ready?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I'm holding them back too. Yeah, just throw it. She'll catch it. Not that I care.
We are gathered today to celebrate the joining of Elizabeth and Benjamin in marriage. And on behalf of Elizabeth and Benjamin, I welcome you to this stunning chapel at the Intercontinental Sanctuary Cove for this very special occasion. It is no accident that each of you are here today. You're invited to be here because you are so important to them. Whether you've come from near or far, and I hear some of you have travelled quite some distances. To our international guests, a very special welcome to Australia, or welcome home. I think I sound like the Qantas welcome home message. To our interstate guests, welcome to the best state, of course. And to the locals from down around the corner, thank you for having us in your neighbourhood. Elizabeth and Benjamin would like to sincerely thank you all for making the journey to be here. Their hearts are bursting with appreciation and with gratitude. Regretfully, some of Elizabeth and Benjamin's friends and family were unable to be here today or are no longer with us to celebrate. But we know that these loved ones are here in spirit, and we know they're always in our hearts. Elizabeth and Benjamin, the path of your marriage is something you will walk day by day. Your marriage will grow in the winding paths, in the quiet moments, and in your little deeds. Grand gestures and big surprises are fun and should be part of your lives. But to sustain and grow your marriage, you must learn to embrace all your time together. You must show each other that you care in your everyday actions and in the little things that you do for each other. Today, you're promising each other that you'll walk the winding path of your marriage together. And today you're promising that you will not think of each other first, but of the two of you together. And today you are promising that whatever may come, good or bad, in times of happiness and success, in times of sadness and difficulty, you will stand hand in hand and face it together. And for that, you can both be greater than you were before. But exactly how do we get to this moment? Now, I'm not suggesting just today, but how did we go from that very first encounter to deciding that a lifetime together is barely long enough? So let's wind that clock back to June of 2020. The world had gone into lockdown, the Australian borders had closed for about 3 months, and we were all tiptoeing through a world event of epic proportions. Realising that although this worldwide pandemic was looking pretty grim, with so many unknowns and with so much uncertainty, what was certain that these two fabulous humans were bumbling about the online dating scene. There may have been a few little swipe lefts, swipe left. Bit interesting, nope. A definite swipe left. A definite swipe left weirdo. Swipe left quick, and then suddenly, how you doing? After connecting, they started chatting, and after about a week, agreed to take the huge leap and to meet face to face. With restrictions in place, they had to do a rather formal sit-down dinner and not something casual at the pub. Elizabeth and Benjamin chatted on the phone before they met up, and during that phone call, he knows what's a-coming. During that phone call, Benjamin mentioned he was missing a couple of teeth. Elizabeth's sudden thought, what am I getting myself into? With the restrictions, it had to be a dinner date, not a quick beer and dash if things were a little bit, how you doing? Dinner with a hillbilly. Benjamin remembers the moment he saw Elizabeth. His heart skipped a beat. She is beautiful, tall, simply stunning, and well-maintained. Let's keep it PG, but she had her hair done. They did the pleasantries, and Elizabeth breathed a sigh of relief, a massive sigh of relief. He had all of his front teeth. Once the ice was broken and they had both relaxed a little, the conversation flowed. Benjamin can remember thinking how easy the conversation was. She was fairly confident, and he could tell by her posture, the way she walked, how she smiled, and her body language. Elizabeth remembers thinking how hard Benjamin was trying to impress her, and this certainly didn't go unnoticed and was very much appreciated. Neither Elizabeth or Benjamin can remember that moment that they became an official couple. But there is one thing that Elizabeth does remember. Benjamin was uber cool, and after only a few weeks of knowing each other, asked Elizabeth, "Will you be my girlfriend?" Things moved pretty quickly with these two, with both of them starting to get them feels pretty quickly. One of those defining moments for Elizabeth was when she realised she loved Benjamin. She'd come home from work to find her kitchen sparkling clean, and he'd even taken the time to scrub the oven.
And the exhaust fan.
It hasn't happened again since.
I bought her a Thermomix.
Sorry, I need to add into that, and the exhaust fan, so just quietly think he's a keeper. Let's face it, Elizabeth really didn't stand a chance. He decided to move himself in after about a month. For Benjamin, trying to pinpoint that exact moment he knew he loved Elizabeth was hard. There wasn't a particular moment. For Benjamin, loving Elizabeth happens every day. He falls even more in love with her on every phone call, every time he sees her, and just being in her presence. She is strong, independent, stunningly beautiful, both inside and out. Benjamin just loves that she is simply amazing, can organise anything, and she has this wonderful ability to help Benjamin to learn love, emotions, and feelings. He also loves that she can be vulnerable in his presence and can put her trust and faith in him. And this was most evident when they took a road trip to Cooktown and did the Bloomfield and Creb Track. In the remote depths of the rainforest on a solo vehicle expedition, no phone reception, mud, dirt, and one of Australia's most challenging four-wheel drive adventures, Benjamin experienced every possible emotion Elizabeth could muster. May have been a few colourful words in there as well. She was positively shitting herself on that trip, but she knew he would keep them safe and get them there safely, eventually, to their destination, which leads us to today. Now, the proposal, as you would expect, is certainly not vanilla or is anything boring with these two. Being the straight shooter that Benjamin is, he and Elizabeth were sitting in Harbour Town chatting about life, the weather, stuff, and discussing starting a family. Benjamin turned and said, "We should probably think about getting married then." Not a question, but an outright statement. In that moment, off they trotted to the jewellery store. Elizabeth picked out a ring, done deal. The ball was now in Benjamin's court to propose in his time. Noting the holiday to far north Queensland was coming up, Elizabeth was quietly hedging her bets. Was this the trip? After enduring the road trip, catching up with family and friends, having a great holiday, Elizabeth was still waiting. Benjamin decided on the last night of their holiday that they would be going out for a really nice dinner. Great way to end a lovely holiday. He rang ahead to book a table by the water. Not available. Plan somewhat foiled. Elizabeth may have caught a sneaky glimpse of a bulge in Benjamin's pocket.
Oh, that wasn't the ring. Oh, sorry.
But she kept quiet. Throughout the dinner, they were chatting and enjoying the moment. But Elizabeth noticed that Benjamin had become fixated on his pocket, and kept either touching his pocket or putting his hand in his pocket. Having enjoyed a lovely dinner, Benjamin insisted that Elizabeth have dessert. Absolutely bursting at the gills after a delightful dinner, she obliged. Was this the moment? Had he arranged for the ring to appear and a dessert somehow? Forcing in dessert, bursting, she just couldn't consume any more, and with that, squished what was left of the dessert flat to the plate. Just in case the ring was hiding in there. Positively bursting, she was somewhat deflated. There was no ring in there. Waddling out of the restaurant after the forced dessert consumption, they headed down along the marina. Benjamin suddenly stopped. He looked at Elizabeth, and as he does, started talking. Elizabeth doesn't remember exactly what was said other than thinking, oh my God, it's finally happening. Benjamin finally got to the punchline. You know I love you and want to marry you. Will you marry me? And at the same time, nervously fumbling about in said pocket to find said ring box that he had just checked 4,000 times that night, down to one knee, before the heavens opened. And luckily for us, Elizabeth, at long last, was able to say yes. Elizabeth just loves that Benjamin has a lot of love to give and a big heart. He's chivalrous, rather traditional, randomly says, I love you, which Elizabeth knows that means that he's thinking about her. She loves his squinty eyes when he smiles big.
Don't know what you're talking about.
And she loves the joy that he gets when he showers her with jewellery.
Right. I knew that one. Don't know what you're talking
She
about.
loves that this guy likes pineapple on pizza. We'll debate that later, everybody. She absolutely loves that he is a complete nut job, and that she has the privileged task of being able to put up with Benjamin. She smiles her hardest when Benjamin is cuddled up with the dogs and chats with them, and her heart melts when she sees him playing with their nieces and nephews. There is so much that Benjamin just adores about Elizabeth, so much so I could have written a book with all the notes that I had been given. She looks at him. She is so very thoughtful. She turns the tap on or flushes the toilet whilst he's in the shower. Now, she is quickly forgiven as she apologises through her laughter. She is their social and event manager and planner, the keeper of the diary and the calendar. She is a lovely inside cook. She keeps a very beautiful home. She is the best at doing dog poo patrol. She is thoughtful and loosens the jar lids before getting Benjamin to open them. She's a wonderful gift giver, having driven 5+ hours on a return trip to pick up a very special gift for this very special human. She never ceases to amaze him with her planning, her ideas, the studies she partakes in, her hobbies, and her support. In Benjamin's unedited words, this woman can do anything which makes me smile. I love her even more. She makes me proud. She makes me feel complete, yet I'm always striving to become a better person for her. And of course, she is beautiful, caring, nurturing, polite, intelligent, and stunning. How's that one? Love to Elizabeth and Benjamin is what gets you through this thing called life. Love is like sinking into a warm bath at the end of an awful day. It's being brave enough to give someone the parts of you that are messy, are complicated, and not perfect to the outside world. It's knowing that although they hold all the tools to break your heart, they'll build you up instead. For Benjamin and Elizabeth, marriage is about sharing a bond built on trust, respect, and loyalty. It's listening to each other and knowing that you'll be supported to be your authentic, whole self. It means putting in the work, even when times get tough, and knowing that your relationship will be stronger for it. Their marriage is about committing to each other and the new chapter they are creating, building a future together and conquering goals together, and experiencing all of life's adventures with each other. But as they make their commitment today, surrounded by family and friends, one of the things they are most excited about is the fact that Elizabeth can call Benjamin her husband and Benjamin can call Elizabeth his wife. So it's fortunate that I am duly authorised by law to solemnise marriages according to law. Before you are joined in marriage in my presence and in the presence of all these wonderful witnesses, I'm to remind you of the solemn, serious and binding nature of the relationship into which you're now about to enter. Marriage according to law in Australia is a union of two people, to the exclusion of all others, voluntarily entered into for life. In marriage, not only say, I love you today, but also, I promise to love you for all of our tomorrows. The promises and vows you make today will guide you into your future.
Yeah, good. Cool down a bit.
Take a big deep breath. Elizabeth and Benjamin, I am going to ask you both a question, and I hope your response will be, we will. Yep. Because if not, it could be really awkward. Okay. I have no idea where this is going to go. Elizabeth and Benjamin, do you take each other as partners in life and love?
I do. We do.
will.
We will. All right. If that's the only thing I do wrong today, I'm okay. I should have warned us.
2 more chances.
Okay, let's do it again.
Elizabeth and Benjamin, do you take each other as partners in life and love?
We will.
Will you share in all things, encourage and support one another so that you may fulfil your dreams?
We will.
Will you both be there for each other in all of your tomorrows and spend the rest of your life striving for a happy life?
We will. One changes.
Elizabeth and Benjamin have taken the time to write their own vows, which they will now read. Who's going to go first?
What, the lady? Yeah, you're welcome.
Yes, please.
Nice book.
I know I've been saying that this is your wedding and that I'm just along for the ride. But we're only just getting started and you've already made this day so much more than what I dreamed it could have been. I love you, Benjamin, and you are my person because you know how to make me laugh as often as you can make my eyes roll. You have a gigantic heart and would do anything for me and everyone who you love. You support me and my dreams and have absolutely no doubt, I have absolutely no doubt that you will be the same for our family, which I cannot wait to start with you because I know that you will be an incredible father. Benjamin, I promise to support you and to work hand in hand with you to achieve our life goals, to continue finding new ways to make you smile, and to make your work lunches, and to love you the way I love the puppies, unconditionally. I know that there are no guarantees in this world, but whatever happens and whatever our life throws at us, I need you to know that I want you by my side. And whether we are sick, healthy, rich or poor, as long as I have you, life will be complete. I'm so ready to be your wife and to annoy you for the rest of your life. and for you to test my patience for the rest of mine. I could finish these vows with an I love you, but that doesn't seem quite adequate because, Benjamin, I can't imagine life without you. And so I give you my hand, my heart, and all my love for the rest of our lives.
Okay. Oh, Benjamin, are just two of the words I want to hear come out of your mouth until a suspicious death does us part. I want your worse, the look you give me when you are hangry, and then that cheeky grin as I struggle to find a way to resolve the situation in the 2-second window. The kicks in bed for some strange reason you can't sleep, and I don't know why. The elbow in the ribs when obviously I've said something funny and you don't understand. All the way down to our Friday night fight nights, just trying to decide what takeaway we're going to have. But these are great things, as I don't see our future being a lantern. It's not going to be dull, and it doesn't have to be carried. I love you, Elizabeth Jane Usher. You are an amazing woman, beautiful, smart, caring and selfless, and the list will continue to go on. And such a great choice in picking your husband. I promise to stand by your side, encourage growth, give you support and cheer you on as I am your biggest fan, to open those jars and to even hit you with the sticky roller from the furry mutts. We make a great team, and I love how even if I've forgotten something from the day before, you're very quick to remind me. We have our goals we want to achieve: house, boat, tackle, esky, and maybe the not so furry family members. You were you and I was I. We were two before our time. I was yours before I knew, and you have always been my two. Love you. You can have that. Love you. Yep.
I call upon everyone present
I call upon everyone present
to witness that I,
Elizabeth Jane Usher, take you,
Benjamin Colin Platt,
to be my lawful wedded husband.
And you're going to do the same. I call upon everyone present
I call upon everybody present
to witness that I,
Benjamin Colin Platt, take you, Elizabeth Jane Usher,
to be my lawful wedded wife.
to be my awful wedded wife. Yes, everyone knew where I was going with it.
Just to correct that, it is lawful. Elizabeth and Benjamin will now exchange rings as a symbol of their love and commitment to each other. A ring is an unbroken circle with ends that have been joined together, and it represents your union. It is a symbol of infinity and of your infinite love. When you look at these rings on your hands, be reminded of this moment, your commitment, and the love you now feel for each other.
Sweat will probably help it go on. You go on, Lily. Thank you. You can have that one. Okay. Good idea. So many rehearsals.
Okay, who's going to go first? Okay.
Don't drop it.
Remember
Other way around.
Other way around. Why? Why? I don't get it. Sorry.
Okay, you ready? You're going to repeat these words.
Oh yeah, I see now.
Oh, sorry.
Wrong person. This ring I give you as a symbol of our love and of the promises I have spoken to you on this very day. Too many desserts in cans. Your turn. That one.
No, hang on. Can you repeat that?
I shall wear this ring as a symbol of our love, being always mindful of the vows we have spoken on this day. This ring I give to you as a symbol of our love and the promises I have spoken to you on this day.
It's humid, all right?
That's what it is. I shall wear this ring as a symbol of our love, being always mindful of the vows we have spoken to on this day.
I would now like to invite Elizabeth's brothers, Thomas and William, to read an excerpt from the poem, The Art of Marriage.
Happiness in marriage is not something that just happens.
A good marriage must be created. In marriage, the little things are the big things.
It is never being too old to hold hands.
It is remembering to say, I love you, at least once a day.
It is never going to sleep angry.
It is at no time taking the other for granted.
The courtship should not end with the honeymoon. It should continue through the years.
It is having a mutual sense of values and common objectives.
It is standing together, facing the world.
It is forming a circle of love that gathers the whole family.
It is doing things for each other, not in the attitude of duty or sacrifice, but in the spirit of joy.
It is speaking words of appreciation and demonstrating gratitude in thoughtful ways.
It is not looking for perfection in each other.
It is cultivating flexibility, patience, and understanding, as well as a sense of humour.
It is having the capacity to forgive and forget.
It is giving each other an atmosphere in which each can grow old.
It is a common search for the good and the beautiful.
It is establishing a relationship in which the independence is equal, dependence is mutual, and an obligation is reciprocal.
It is not only marrying the right partner, it is being the right partner.
Thanks, Thomas and William. Elizabeth and Benjamin, you have promised before us to share your lives together and to love each other according to your vows. If everyone can please be ready to make an epic amount of noise, because it is now my absolute honour and my privilege to declare you as husband and wife. Benjamin, you have permission to kiss your spectacular bride. Look at these two lovers. So we have some documents to sign. Chat amongst yourselves for a moment while we do that. If you feel inclined, grab a selfie, text it through to Elizabeth and Benjamin so tomorrow morning they can, or tomorrow afternoon maybe, they can have a little bit of a giggle at seeing some of those photos. We'll be back in a moment. If I can now please ask everyone to be upstanding and get ready to make an epic amount of noise as I introduce to you, for the very first time, as a married couple, our newlyweds, Benjamin and Elizabeth Platt.